Going to continue this morning with the Arab Knights and Coach Lee Osmond, I believe, beginning your third season as the head man for the Arab Knights. Coach, would you introduce the guys that are with you today and give us an outlook for Arab here in 2021?
This is Ed Johnson to my right. He's returning starting quarterback. Was our starter last year going into the season and broke his leg, but he's back full speed now. Looking forward to big things out of him. To my left is Caleb Rowe. He was a two-way starter last year, played offensive line out of necessity and played defensive end, which was his home, and played that all year last year and played very well for us. Outlook, I'm one of those that's real cautious. Optimistic but cautious. I'm excited, and the reason I'm excited is I think we've got a group of seniors that, and everybody's going to say pretty much the same thing, all right? Everybody loves seniors, but this bunch has been through a lot. We tested them. We tested them this morning. We're going to test them again tonight. We're going to test them tomorrow morning and tomorrow night. We're going to keep testing them. And they just keep passing those tests with flying colors because of the intangibles. We're not gonna go out on the field in the warm-ups and impress anybody. We're gonna lose probably the warm-ups. We'll be 0-10 if we keep scoring the warm-ups. But I think if you stick around for the football game, I think it'll be competitive, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Coach, we talk about other numbers. You said you had, I believe, 18 seniors this year. Is that?
I got 20.
20 seniors this
Yes.
year. Would you talk about your numbers and your returning starters on offense and defense, please?
We've got 6 returning starters on offense, and we've got 8 returning starters on defense. And in both cases, you can't judge a team by returning starters. I judge a team by, returning veterans. And so far, we've taken the field in practice, in OTAs and things we've done this summer and in the spring. We've taken the field like veterans. And I think a key to our success, and I've preached this since the first meeting, is going to be how we practice. Can we practice full intensity and take care of each other? Because like any other high school team, we've got pretty good. We're pretty good, on the first team. But then we could get in trouble real quick if we get a few injuries. Kind of what happened to us last year.
Coach, Caleb, you won a state championship in wrestling. It seems like that's lifted your profile a little bit in the school. But seems to be a lot of leaders on that team this off season. Could you talk about the leadership in the weight room and in the workouts?
Coming in from this year, from last year, there definitely are a bunch of more leaders. Some leaders you have guys like Jonathan Pugh and Jonah Humphreys that have been stepping up, and Ed just being a leader like he always is. There's new guys like Mitchell Duquette and others I could rattle off, but there's a ton of leaders on this team, and I'm looking forward to it.
Coach, over on your left, good to see you again. Looking forward to talking with you this season. A couple of quick questions for you. I know that as coaches, once one season ends, it's almost the new one starts, and you get questions and you start wondering, okay, where are we going to fix this? How can we be better here and there? You've got all sorts of questions. What questions might you still have that maybe you already have answered, and what are you still looking for on the answer side of things? And number 2 is for you players, you guys get a brand new field to play on this year. I got to go out and look at it last week. That thing's coming together quick, and it looks great. I know that a couple of years ago in Coach Osmond's first year, that Madison Academy game, that was a mud pit, to say the least. Are you guys looking forward to playing on this brand new turf that looks so good? I know that's got to be a little bit easier not to worry about the rain. So I'll go with Coach and then players.
Well, there's nobody more excited than I am, and I know these two are excited to play on that field, that turf. And yes, it was it was tough because you know, if it rained on Monday or Tuesday, you were questionable on Friday night, and I'd had helicopters out there to try to dry it out. It just never would dry out. But it's, you know, I this whole process of them digging the old field up and putting down the new, I've just kind of kept watch on it and been there every day to watch them, watch how they build it and how they put it together. And a few times we've had a wet summer. I mean, I don't think anybody can argue with that. And there's times where I'll go in there and in the middle of a rainstorm, I'm out there with my rain jacket and my umbrella, and I'm looking to see if the field is draining, and the track is wetter than the field, and that made my heart sing. So we're excited. We're excited to play on it. It's a beautiful field. It really is. I thought it looked great on paper, but then when they laid it down and we took pictures last night, it's drop dead gorgeous. So we're excited. That's one thing. But another thing is, you know, it's going to depend on what product we put on that field, and I'm more excited about that. You know, I'm excited about rising to the level of our expectations as a program, and I think these two represent that. You know, as much as anybody on our football team, is they play to a standard every day, whether they feel like it or not. They get outside their feelings. You know, it doesn't matter how you feel; it matters how you perform. And these two show up and they perform every day. And there's others, but I chose these two, and I'm proud to be sitting up here with these guys, especially this one because he didn't play last year. You know, I know it. He was chomping at the bit to be out there, and he couldn't. And you know, now he's shown up for a senior year, and I'm gonna be excited to see him taking snaps this year.
Yeah, like Coach Osmond said, I'm excited to play on this turf field, and I know the rest of our guys on our team are, you know, they go out and look at that field and they're like, man, you know, let's get out there and play on it. So I'm looking forward to this year, and I'm excited. We got a bunch of key players returning, and ready to see what we can do.
I'm also excited upon this field. I know last year we had a couple of really wet games, and just struggling to move on the field. Like, you'd make a cut and you'd fall right on your face because the ground would just come ripping up and below you. So I'm ready to get some traction on the field. So,
Coach, what's going on? How are you?
Hey, Rocco,
Good to
how
see
you doing, man?
You touched on it, 20 returning seniors. That's big time. A lot of programs are lucky to have maybe like 5 or 10. 20 is a pretty big number. As far as that goes, how important is that for you as a head coach when it comes to winning football games? And not only that, just continuing to build on this program into what you want it to be going forward?
Well, that's a great question. Here's the deal. You know, as a coach, your senior class either makes your job either more difficult or better. And I'm not going to say easy, but either they'll make it more difficult or you know, better. And I'm this bunch, the way they lead, the way they hold, you know, other players on this team accountable, they're really the coaches. And I'm not saying that tongue in cheek. I really mean that. They're the coaches. And here's how. You know, when I say, all right, let's focus, let's dial in, let's get after it, and let's focus on the next play and do things right and do the little things right, they're going to do the little things right. And then when somebody else does it wrong, they're going to be the first to say, hey, this is how you do it, you know, and it makes your job better as a coach. And you know, I've spent a lot of time with this class over the last 3 years, and you know, here's what I know. I know that these guys are going to do what they're coached to do. And when they do what they're coached to do, they're going to have confidence and they're going to have freedom within that system to play football. And isn't that the same in life? I mean, there's rules that God gives us to live by, and if you live within those rules, within those boundaries, there's freedom, right? There's freedom within the boundaries of doing what we do on the football field to play with freedom and to play fast. And they're going to play fast. They're going to play fast because they get it now. And I'm excited. I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about that.
Hey, Coach Osmond, I wanted to kind of piggy off of what he said and then what you just finished saying. It just feels like you truly believe that this group of guys in this year's football team has a chance to be pretty special. I just wanted to ask you, considering all the things from last year, he got injured early, changed everything for you all. But more importantly, from then, the end of the season, winter conditioning, it just feels like it's different at ARAB. Could you kind of like explain that to
It's different. We're built different. We are. We're built different. From the top down, we're built different than we've been in years past. And I don't know what that means, and I don't know what that translates to. It doesn't I'm not going to say it translates to 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins, 5 wins, or 2. I don't know. But I know this. I know that it's a pleasure to go to work every day. It's a pleasure to see that light come on. It's a pleasure to be around these guys because they get it. They pull for each other. I mean, we're in the weight room, and it's 125. We don't have air conditioning in our weight room. And it's hot. And it's humid, and weights are slipping off the bars, and their feet are slipping underneath them, and it's hot. I mean, it's like hot. And we're stopping because Caleb's about to clean 275 or whatever, or the quarterback's about to clean 245, and everybody's stopping and they're cheering for him. You know, so then he pumps out 2 or 3 or 4 reps. And we're just getting excited. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen because of me. That happens because of these guys have bought in, and they love each other, and they work, and they want to outwork each other every day. And I just think that's the special thing about it is it's not that, you know, we got 20 returning seniors or anything like that. That's because they enjoy being with each other, and they enjoy being around each other, and they enjoy every moment that they're together. And I'm not saying that we're all whistling zippy-doo-dah and getting along and not fighting. I mean, I break up fights, and that's a good thing because families fight, you know. Families fight, but I think sometimes through those scars, they grow closer together. And I've broken up fights, managed fights because we go inside, there's fights. We go inside drill, there's fights. And we're not even shoulder pads yet. But that's a good thing. Because at the end of the day, we're all on the same team, we're all in the same family, and we're pulling for each other. Special, man. It's special.
One last question. This is for the players, guys, seniors on the football team. Coach said there's 20. He picked 2 of you to represent the whole football team today at Media Day. Could you talk about that?
Yep. Me and Caleb are just 2 that represent our all of our 20 seniors. We got a special group. Really excited about, you know, what we're going to accomplish something this year that no other ARAB team's accomplished. You know, our D line. We have 3 seniors on the D line this year that are really they're going to do something, and I'm excited to see, you know, how everything plays out. And yep.
What was the question again? I kind of forgot.
It was about representing your team as a senior.
Yeah, we do have a bunch of seniors on the team, like I said earlier, and a big class. I feel like there's a bunch of them all over the field, especially from the offensive line. I mean, I see them every day. They got a bunch. I mean, I go up against them in practice every day. I mean, there's some good seniors. I mean, they're all over the field. I mean, behind me on my linebacker core and in front of my offensive line and my backs and everything. I mean, there's a bunch of good seniors.
I don't know if you just saw what happened, but my quarterback bragged on the defensive line, and my defensive end, who's fighting every day, bragged on the offensive line.
That's good.
That's brothers.
That's what you're talking about, right, Coach?
That's the difference.
The process continues at ARAB. Hey, Coach, thanks for being with us today. Good luck to the ARAB Knights. I believe 3 weeks from today that you open against the Albertville Aggies on that brand new field there at ARAB.
Everybody needs to be there. It's the only game in Marshall County.
Thanks, Coach.